are like a kid. Women are like the kids at the store. They want, right? The moment you give it to them, they play with it for a couple hours, then they get bored. Then they want something else. So that's the same thing she's doing to you. She wants you to do everything she's asking for. And the moment you give her everything she's asking for, she's still not satisfied. She's still looking for a reason to ask for more. She's still making you feel like you're not doing enough. Which is so crazy, right? This is prime example where men need to be able to understand a woman a lot better. You need to stop giving so much in to a woman, and you need to stop giving her so much. Because the more you give, the more she's going to feel like you're not doing enough. Which is so crazy, right? But the less that you do for her, then she'll appreciate you more. Women are backwards. Very backwards. And men need to be able to open up their eyes and realize this. Because you're making so much sacrifice for the woman that you love, but still in her mind, she still feels like you're not good enough. And you're not doing enough. Women are...
All right, Shalom. I want to start by giving all praise and glory unto you. How about Shem Shah, by Shem Kakodash. Dub honor to the apostle and elders of great millstone. Shalom to all the Akim out there pushing the word of sincerity and in truth. Yeah, you're hearing that from the mouth of a woman. You know, her perspective and understanding of women, you know, and she's spot on. Spot on correct, you know, the mindset of how majority of these Evites think out here. You know, westernized, Apostle Gabar always goes into it that a lot of these women are Americanized, you know, out in the Eastern world, which is known as the old world. You know, they call American women, predominantly American women. You know, all these women got demons on them. Don't get it wrong. For the most part, you know, we in hell, of course, everybody is being affected, you know, in this society. But see, men have, you know, deal with logic and reason, and women, they just deal with emotion, man, pure emotion, you know, and a lot of them are tapped into the left hand side, whether consciously, deliberately, you know, subconsciously or indirectly. They're all tied into the left, you know, even going back to Genesis. Eve was what known as the mother of all living. And she was the highest pinnacle of women, you know, and you see which she had the ability to choose, and she chose the left, you know. A lot of people know it as a so-called apple, but we know that's not actually an apple, but it was really philosophy on the left-hand side. So she veered off from righteousness and seduced, you know, the man, even though she was the weaker vessel. You know, the scriptures speak about, you know, how Eve, you know, Eve is the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. You know, so you can't follow the ways of women. You know, this thing is about tapping into your inner manhood and your strength, and women follow us, man. You know, everything ain't all about fucking women, man. You know, you have a woman or a little chick you deal with, you know, that's just something on the side you do. You know, the mission has to be accomplished, you know, and women see certain men on a mission, and their whole thing is to derail them from that mission and basically consume his spirit. So you have the King Lemuel. You know, his mother gave him a very speak like a very exquisite dialogue, you know, a discourse. Is from her synopsis and her understanding, she told him, hey, don't give yourself over to that, because it's going to destroy you. It's going to kill you. You know, it's going to gut you. It's going to gut you and your kingdom out. You see? So Proverbs 31:1, the words of King Lemuel, the prophecy that his mother taught him. What, my son, and what the son of my womb, and what the son of my vows. Give not thy strength unto women, nor thy ways to that which destroyeth kings. Verse 4, it is not for kings, O Lemuel, it is not for kings to drink wine, which is philosophy, nor princes strong drink. Why? Because overly consumption of philosophies and wayward thinking, that's what leads your kingdom to ruin also. It's about establishing principles, stern principles. You know, No side variations, no clauses. You know, that's why the scriptures speak about the king, you know, roughly paraphrasing, how does it go? Basically, the king, you know, basically be not given a change. The king, you know, somewhere along those lines, you know, because you're not supposed to be switching and dipping, you know, as a king, you know. Let me see. Yeah, that's it. Proverbs 24:21. My son, fear thou the Lord and the king, and meddle not with them that are given a change. Yeah, you don't supposed to be switching and changing, man. You know, and we know even Apostle Gabar went into that and pertaining to women, which whenever it was a kingdom or a queendom, we know it was always mixed. It was mixed drink, you know, dealing with philosophy. It was all kind of mixed up stuff within the society, you know, because Apostle Gabar goes into this too, how, you know, women are changeable and fickle, you know. And that's why you deal with these things accordingly, man. You don't give yourself over. You don't give yourself over to anything. As a man, you know, the only thing you give yourself over to is in the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah, all right? Unto this word, unto this knowledge, unto this understanding, unto this service and this ministry. See, we known as women in the eyes of the Lord because we're particularly, you know, a part of this service, and we play a role. But when under individuals that come up under are supposed to be subjected unto us, particularly women, they don't want to play that role. You know, they want to actually wear, quote unquote, wear the pants. That's when you start to veer off and venture from your, you know, as a former man, you lose your manly edge, you know. And this thing is about being edgy, man. You know, testosterone, you know, having that high level of, you know, testosterone, all these different things. That's why testosterone is such a big thing, you know, because it defines manhood, you see. But it says, it is not for kings, or Lemuel, it is not for kings to drink wine, nor for princes strong drink, lest they drink and forget the law. See, because the law is supposed to be always reminisced on. The law is supposed to be established. And from that law, if laws aren't followed strictly, then that's when judgments ensue. You know, and we see judgments take place on the earth. Like this whole thing with those cop killings. You know, they say that Jake was committing adultery, and we know the scriptures speak about he who then perished without being innocent. A lot of Jakes, had his rapper here in Atlanta. He got smoked, you know, for adultery. I hear these situations a lot, man. I know brothers, you know, men on the whole, whether through social media or through your job you might go to, wherever location that you're actually dialoguing with staff or whatever, associates, you hear these stories, man. And you like, damn, you know, that one was a demon. You know, on my job, it was a Jake. You know, he was messing with this one chick. You know, she turned out to be basically a demon. You know, had dudes basically want to jump on him on the job. Long story short, you know, she was pulling off from a job with another dude. She was her ex-boyfriend that was working a job, and he wanted to get into some bullshit entanglement. The car got shot up. She crashed her car, totaled it out. New car, she just put a down payment on or whatnot. You know, I ain't seen her since, you know, because there's always some bullshit in the midst with a lot of these women. These women are fucking young and thugging in the streets, man. You know, the new repackaged niggas just with and I'm not talking about certain women that, you know, play their part, you know, who actually defined it. Because you have, you know, by definition, woman just means female servant. A lot of women aren't female servants. They might serve their job, but actually serving a man, that's looked at as beneath them. And that goes back to that demonic Rosie the Riveter, feminism, you know, putting that woman's face on a pedestal and to give her liberty to get abroad. But that's why judgment is going to take place on this great whore, because it all is being pumped by the bigger machine, which is America, because she's known as a woman, all right? You know, the Lady of Kingdoms. That's why I said this is a queendom, but it's going to burn through fire, you see? So We just have to keep doing what we're doing, standing on our square, not breaking from that, not compromising, and elevating within that, until this whole thing perishes. So just wanted to speak on that, keep it short and sweet. Hopefully, brothers was edified. It goes into a little bit more good stuff. In this verse, it speaks about who can find a virtuous woman. In verse 10, for a price is far above rubies, which is, it gives the different aspects of how a woman enlarges her virtue. Keeping, being a keeper at home, as it is written, building up righteous skills, whether it's like it has sewing, in that form, and then she actually doing a service unto her man, which props and enables him and his manhood, you see. But we're not living in those times. A lot of we at war with everything, man. The so-called Black, Latino, and Native American, man, everything has been weaponized against us, and we understand this is spiritual warfare, so we just have to fight that good fight of faith until the fight is finished. So I want to end by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Shema, Shabbat, Shem, Kakwadash, the honors to the apostle and others, great millstone. Shalom, Akim.